This brings us to self-management. Now, we start to become aware. I realize, okay, well, I sweat when I'm in front of people. Maybe self-management is just, I'm gonna bring an extra shirt, and I'm managing some of those aspects of myself. But I like to use an analogy of walking a dog. Anyone here ever walked a dog? Anyone here ever trained a dog to walk on a leash? Couple people? Okay, if you've done this, it can be a very challenging task. Maybe it's a little chihuahua or something, you can just yank it, it's not a big deal. But you got like a big dog, you need to build a relationship there. And in the beginning, you have your wants and your desires and what you think this walk should look like, and your dog has its own idea in mind. So it's pulling in every direction, it gets a scent, it starts to yank this way, your arm's getting tired, you're getting frustrated with it. And this is what it can feel like sometimes when we are trying to build a relationship with our mind, where we're starting to go down this self-management process. Like, oh, if you would just do what I want you to, we could have a nice walk, we could have more fun, life would be easier. But no, time and time again, it's just pulling and pulling and pulling. So we need to start, again, slow down and start with understanding the nature of the dog. Understand that the dog needs to be rewarded at the right time. It needs to be corrected at the right time. And it needs consistency in the training. If all of a sudden you're just like, I'm tired, you do whatever the hell you want this time, that's gonna make a huge setback in training that dog. So that consistency, rewarding at the right time, correcting at the right time, and knowing when it's appropriate to just let the dog off leash and let it run. And let it just be a dog. This is when we play. This is when we get creative. This is when we let our mind wander. But it's a challenging thing. But that moment where all of a sudden it feels like you could just let the leash go and the dog's gonna walk right beside you, that's such a beautiful moment. And I'm telling you this. So without getting too much into my background, I started meditating and doing mindfulness practices at the age of 10. I studied Buddhism in Thailand, I studied yoga in India, I lived in the Himalayan mountains in Nepal. I've spent time traveling around the world, living with different indigenous peoples. I've studied West African culture from shamans. I lived with the indigenous people of Australia for a year, nomadically moving about the land. And the stuff that you can do with your mind, when you put the time in to control it, it's amazing. Imagine it's time to go to sleep and you just tell your mind, go to sleep, and then you pass out, and then you wake up and you haven't even moved. When you're starting to have a bad day and you say, I want to have a good day, and all of a sudden your mood turns around. You can do this when you work with your mind, not against it.